Hi, everyone. I'm Candance Renauld. I'm a former English language fellow at UIN Sunan Kalijaga in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. And today I'd like to talk to you about one module Schoology offers, which will be a huge time saver if you have never used it. It provides efficient, accurate assessment for large classes, and I loved it. So if you don't know Schoology, it is a comprehensive learning management system. It's free for individual teachers and your classes. Whole school systems can buy it, but you as a teacher can use it for free, and your students can use it for free. So the only downside might be that you don't get technical support, but there are plenty of videos and tutorials on YouTube and on the Schoology website. I've never had a problem figuring things out. Setting up a quiz in Schoology setting up Schoology is pretty easy and simple, and it's very user-friendly. The thing about using the quiz module, the testing module, is it will save you a ton of time in grading and assessing quizzes, and it makes things simple and easy for your students too, because the assessment module automatically grades student submissions the minute they submit them. So it's done like that. You get instant results for both you and your students, and my students love that. So I'm going to show you real quick an exam, a midterm exam I set up for my analytical grammar class in Indonesia. Actually, it's a final exam on this. Anyway, so this is the question module. As you can see, these are the kinds of questions you can add. All of these except for the short answer and essay question or self-grading. You can create page breaks. You can import, you can save the questions from your question bank for future use. For this particular final exam, I had almost 70 students. There were 65 questions. It took me 5 hours to create the exam, but once you create it, you can use it over and over again. So you have upfront time, but after that, you're good. I set the time. My students had 100 minutes to complete the exam. It took me 0 hours to grade it and 0 minutes spent entering grades into gradebook once the test was finalized. So let me show you so this is, first we show the questions module. Now look at the settings module. So up here you put instructions for your students. Submissions, you need to enable this so your students can submit their work when they're done. If you want a time limit, now you can use this module for testing for practice for students if you want, and you don't need to set a time limit, but because this was a final, they had 100 minutes to complete it. Because it was a formative assessment, they only got to do it once. But again, if you want them to practice, you can set it for 3, 4, 5, how many times you want them to do it. The good thing about this randomized order, it changes the order for the questions on the test for each student. So it diminishes the likelihood of students cheating off of each other and looking at each other's tests, because the student next to them may not have exactly the same questions that student does. Page breaks allows you to set up pages so the students aren't scrolling down one long list of questions. Language keyboard, ignore that. Question review gives students the ability to review the questions before they submit it. And is it resumable? In Indonesia, this is critical to put yes on here because the power will go out unexpectedly. And if that is not set to yes, then students have to go back and start from the beginning. If the power goes out with yes, they can just pick up where they left off. And view submissions, yes, with correct answers. I wanted my students to be able to once they'd finished it and hit submit, they could review their answers and if they missed one, it would give them what the correct answer was. And then of course, you set changes. So it's very easy. Then each question, you'll enter each question and correct the answers and the correct answer for each question. Next, here and last, these are the results you'll see. So these are all the student names, the number of submission attempts, the date they submitted it, And here you see the final score. So that's the number of questions they got right out of the total number of questions. And this is the score that is also automatically entered in your grade book. So you don't have to worry about entering it in the grade book. And here, if a student has a question about one of their answers or something that came up, here you can click and go back and see specifically what they answered and help them with that. So this is a great tool for assessing, particularly large classes. You can do a small classes too, but particularly large classes. I think it's excellent. I use it all the time and I really recommend it. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. Please feel free to email me, and good luck with your educating, and thank you for letting me be a part of your education camp. Take care. Bye.